Alright guys, so this is the engine. You can tell it's already in a bit of a state. It's like this because 12 years ago when I was moving offices, I wanted to take the head off the engine to make it a bit lighter because I couldn't move it around as it was. Anyway, I failed on that, as you can see, and it's been like this ever since. So what I'm going to do now is just disassemble as much as I can. I'll bag stuff up, label it, and I'll make comments about the engine wear as we go along. So the first thing that strikes me here is that the rockers are loose. So I'm going to take them off, start marking these up. So this is going to be intake number 4, and this is the bag I've got for all this stuff. I'm not sure if these are, not even sure what these are, to be honest with you. I think they go on top of the valves. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be in any specific order, but they're all going to go into this bag. So anyway, these things that I'm taking off that go on top of the valves, they look pretty clean, to be fair. Don't see any obvious wear in them. So let's get rid of this camshaft here. This is going to be the intake. Just going to write it in a few places so I know what it is later if I ever need it. With regards to wear on the camshaft, the engine's got around, I want to say around 240,000 miles. Doesn't seem to be any noticeable wear on the camshafts. They feel completely smooth to me, which in a way is a bit of a shame that this engine met its demise just because of a freaking head gasket. So just coming to the fuel rail. Hopefully this is 2 screws. This is what I'm hoping for, but I could be fucking hopelessly optimistic for that. Just making a bag fuel rail. Just taking the one bolt out, but I think I'm gonna have to take other things off before that's gonna play ball. Throttle body looks like it's held in place by these 4 things, and we've got the 2 clips on the hoses. How tight can the bolts be, you know what I mean? I think I'm asking a lot of this little ratchet. These are on tight. Oh, very tight. Oh, these are brilliant. I'll be honest with you, I didn't even buy this for this job, but they take these clips off great. That seems welded on. So that's the throttle body. Water cooled by the looks of it, or water heated I should say. Looks decent on the inside, not a massive amount of rust. Put that in my throttle body Ziploc bag. Okay, what's next? Fuel rail seems fucking rock solid, but I do have access to the fuel rail bolt now. Oh, I wonder if this comes out now. Does this come out, guys? Oh, see another one. Oh my goodness. So I suppose the inlet manifold's coming off next then. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to kick all this into touch and break out the big boys. Okay, comes off easy enough. I do feel a bit cross-threaded. I'm sure they're alright. Not exactly a straight shot down to these inlet manifold bolts, to be fair. Gonna have to take the oil filter off. I do have a tool for that. Genuine Nissan filter. I'll put it in a bag, why not? Just gotta take this bracket off to be able to get access to the inlet manifold bolts. To take this off so I could get access to this. I'm gonna have to undo this with a spanner because there's no freaking space for a thing. What the hell? Not easy to work on. I'm seeing things here that would be a complete fucking nightmare if this was on the car. So this is a bit different to the rest of the car because the Primera generally is a freaking easy car to work on, but this, having to do this with the engine in situ would be an absolute nightmare. An absolute freaking nightmare. I'm just going to put that bolt in on its own so I know it's on the inlet manifold under the freaking oil filter. What else do I need to get at? There's another one here. What did I use for that? A 12. I've got these spanners, ratchet spanners, but it doesn't appear to be a 12mm in it, which is probably what I need for this. So, okay, whatever. Oh, take out these brackets. So what I'm not impressed with is the garage that fucked up the head gasket repair. But what I am impressed with is the garage that just taking these remaining inlet manifold bolts off. Yeah, so I was saying that not impressed with the garage that fucked up the head gasket repair, But what I am impressed with taking this apart is with the garage that took out this engine. Just little things like putting the brackets back with the bolts. Loads of inlet manifold bolts in this thing. Okay. So, oh my god, so difficult to get access to the fucking bolts. Now I understand why the garage that did the head gasket the first time didn't want to do it the second time. We've got this rigid hose which is connected all the way around here. Disconnect it from here, I think, and then we've got this one bracket here. It's going to be 10s, is it? Oh, same again. See what I mean about them putting things back together? They didn't have to do that. The garage that did the engine swap. A flathead screwdriver for this. It's freaking welded on there. Oh, that really didn't want to come off there. What does it look like on the inside? Not too bad. Okay, so what is still holding this inlet manifold on the engine block? Oh, we got one fucking bolt there. Where's my inlet manifold bag? Is it these the same as the others? No, this is going to get its own bag. Okay, is that it? What is still holding this on? It seems really solid. Why? Well, we've got brackets here. See what I mean? They didn't have to do this. Put the brackets on with the bolts. They could have just said, fuck it. Just put everything in the bloody, everything in one sack together. I appreciate that. I may as well tell you who did the swap, and that was Turbo Speed. They were in Eversmoss at the time. They're in Monasterio now. I rate them highly. Of all the garages that I approached about this, they were the only ones that were confident of taking it on. Everybody else shied away from it because this engine is not exactly the same as the VE. And they did a bang-up job. Zero issues with it. Still got a feeling it's still held on by something. Let's see what is holding it down. This is free, isn't it? Oh, I think there's one that's hidden underneath the oil pump. I assume this is the oil pump. I'm not sure what piece this is. Oh my god, what am I doing? Is that a 14mm? Lord have mercy. It is a 14. Frickin' hell. It's been a while since I've worked on a Japanese car. Forgot what the socket sizes are. Okay, that is a friggin' engine mount, is it? Back to the 10s. Okay, it's going to be obvious which one is which there. Still don't know what I'm taking apart. These bolts are all the same. The shortest bolt is the one at the top, which makes sense because it is the closest to the block. Is this loose now? It is loose. Hose off here. I've got to say, even though these have been on you for 12 years, these Jubilee clips are still fucking good. The hoses seem good as well, and I think they're the original. Well, they're definitely the original hoses from the factory. These are going to be fun to take off today. Okay, relatively easily. Okay, so this was what? Oil cooler. Yeah, I suppose it's oil cooler. This is the oil filter, water outlets. Looks fine inside, no rust at all. This must be what? Oil pressure sensor. And then we've got our thing to the engine, the oil lines into the engine there. I'm going to double bag it. One over the top, one over the bottom. So has this exposed the last bolt? It has. Is it a 10? It is. Okay. Okay, that was it. Fair few different sizes of bolts on the inlet manifold. Need to do this. A bit late now to start cocking about with the lamp. So this should come off now. It does. We've got a vacuum hose. The hoses look really good. Inside, the engine is really clean, not rust, very little rust. And now the question is, what am I going to do with the inlet manifold? Let's tip it over and see how we get the fuel rail off. Okay, there's one bolt here which I might be able to get to now. It's gonna be a spanner, gotta be. Oh my god, how much would I not want to have to take fuel rail off with the engine in the car? Oh my god, what a nightmare. Some sort of washer. Is that off this engine? Yes, it is. It's a spacer off the ends. There was another one on the other side which I no longer have. Where are we? Fuel rail. Got the 2 bolts, 3 bolts. Are they all the same length? No, the inner one is smaller. I'll just write that in the bag. Well, the inlet manifold gasket looks brand new. Oh, this fuel line really does not want to come off. I don't want to go nuclear option if I don't have to, i.e. cut the fucker. Come on, dude. God. Oh my goodness gracious me, finally. I don't know what you can tell from the end of the fuel rail, but whatever. I suppose the next thing is to take the head off, but I'm going to take the strainer off the bottom because that is stopping me from standing the engine up. Got these little, they use 2 different sizes of bolts on the bottom of the oil pan for some reason. That's the splash shield off. So yeah, we're pretty close. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take off the strainer, and then I'm going to stand it up standing up the engine, and that's it. I'm going to call it a day. We're going to call that part 1, and in part 2 we'll come back and pull off the head and see what damage there is to the gasket. What exactly is the problem? We'll have a look at the flatness of the head. We'll look at the gasket. We'll see exactly what the issue was. We'll take the rods out, we'll take the pistons out probably, see what the rings look like after 260,000 miles. We just pull off the oil strainer. And again, it's going with 12 mil bolts. Not tight at all. And we've got a gasket with it as well. So that's the disassembling of the SR20 part 1. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, I'll do my best to answer. Like I said, never done this before. Until part 2, look after yourselves, and I'll see you again then.